Changes are inevitable in novels and the movies that take after them. The same is true for Star Wars Episode 4: A New Hope. Over several years and many rewrites, George Lucas developed a story and screenplay that would literally change the world. His screenplay was then adapted into a novel by Alan Dean Foster and was released in 1976, 6 months before the film. The book stayed mostly true to the original script, but some interesting changes will have you asking, why didn't George do that in the movie? We're going to take a look at some of the more standout differences in this video. There are quite a few others, so this is by no means a full or comprehensive list. So hit the subscribe button and let's get right into it. The first notable difference is how the story begins. Fans worldwide know the iconic opening words of Star Wars films, "A long time ago in a galaxy far, far away." But die-hard fans know of the book's opening, "Another galaxy, another time." This doesn't have the same attention-grabbing power as the film. The novel's opening words have more of a fantasy feel, which are very similar to The Dark Crystal, released in 1982, and its opening line is "Another world, another time." The story quickly moves into scenes not included in the original film, and we get a glimpse into what life was like for Luke Skywalker on Tatooine. Most notably, the friendships he has with Cammy, Fixer, and Biggs Darklighter. It's a shame we got so little of Biggs in the final cut of A New Hope. Thankfully, some deleted scenes of Luke and Biggs together were added in the special edition years later. From those scenes, we could tell these two had a great friendship. The book expands on how strongly they're connected. According to the novel, the pilots describe themselves as two shooting stars. The phrase is even repeated by a tearful Luke when Biggs is killed during the Battle of Yavin. Also, in the book, Biggs saves Luke from the TIE fighter, not the legendary Wedge Antilles. It would have been great to see more of Luke and Biggs bantering and shooting through the stars together in the movie. This is one area where the book scores major points. Next, the novel first introduces us to Jabba the Hutt, not the colossal slug we see in Return of the Jedi, but a biped described as a mobile tub of muscle. This is a far departure from the Goodfellas Polly-like character, who doesn't move fast because he doesn't have to. The Jabba we know is a Don, and Dons have hired guns who fight for them. This version of Jabba actually jumps when Han Solo startles him. On a side note, I'm sad to say the novel does not give an indication of who shot first, Han or Greedo. It only says, "Light and noise filled the corner of the cantina, and when it had faded, all that remained of the unctuous alien was a smoking, slimy spot on the stone floor." So feel free to continue that debate in the comments. One of the biggest changes is the role of Emperor Palpatine. Gone is Darth Sidious, one of the most powerful Sith Lords to ever live. He ruled with fear, intimidation, and lies, and his presence looms darkly over the entire saga. This is not the case in the novelization. Mentioned only in the prologue, we learn that once Palpatine took office and named himself Emperor, he shut himself off from the public and became a pawn of the people he had put into high offices. It's well known that George had not fleshed out the entire trilogy in detail. Most of the backstory was just a simple outline at this point. Palpatine wasn't even a Sith Lord, and since he was not mentioned in the rest of the movie, his role as figurehead served the book's purposes. Thankfully, the films gave us the organized, patient, Force lightning-wielding Dark Lord of the Sith that made the entire Skywalker saga possible. In the climactic battle over the Death Star, Gold and Red Squadrons were filled with brave pilots who risked their lives for the galaxy's freedom. The Battle of Yavin plays out the same in the book, with a difference in the designation of colors. In the movie, the Y-Wings lead the charge on the Death Star as Gold Squadron. In the book, the Y-Wings are Red Squadron, and the X-Wings are Blue Squadron. This was changed when challenges arose in filming the model starfighters against a blue screen. For technical reasons, the color blue had to be removed from all of the ships. Rogue One gave a fantastic nod to this change when Blue Squadron, now generated by CGI instead of filmed models, was destroyed at Scarif. No sci-fi or fantasy story would be complete without an aged mentor. And Obi-Wan Kenobi, our wise old hermit in the movie, differs from the character in the novel. In the film, Old Ben lives in a hut beyond the Dune Sea. In the book, he lives in a cave and smokes a pipe, giving him more of a wizard feel. He also tends to ramble and inject random comments, making you question just how wise he really is. In the Mos Eisley Cantina, Luke is harassed by 3 individuals, not 2. That's not an impressive change, except that instead of just disarming one alien with his lightsaber, Ben also slices a second one completely in half. That would have been incredibly cool on screen. Even though Lucas had not fully developed the lore of the Jedi at this time, it does seem a bit excessive of a response to what was nothing more than a standard bar fight. One interesting difference for Obi-Wan is in regards to the destruction of Alderaan. In the movie, Obi-Wan is shaken by an overwhelming disturbance in the Force, while in the novelization, he has no indication that anything has happened. One of the last differences we'll talk about here has provided an uproar in the fandom, as well as prompted countless theories throughout the years, and that is Chewbacca not receiving a medal during the awards ceremony at the end of the film. George Lucas has explained that Wookiees don't care for accolades. Doing the right thing is more important to them, in this case blowing up the Death Star. But Chewie is an integral part of the Star Wars universe and deserves recognition. The novel shows Chewie receiving his due, as he is also awarded a medal from Princess Leia after Luke is awarded his. This makes perfect sense, even if Chewie doesn't want such an item. It's an excellent ending for the book and brings closure to a nearly impossible mission that was completed successfully. Thank you, Mr. Foster. George Lucas's changes and updates to the saga throughout the years have been made, for the most part, with the intention of telling a deeper story. And as fans, we are grateful for what has come of it. If you're looking for something different, I highly recommend reading the novelization of A New Hope. It will take you deeper into another galaxy and another time. Thank you so much for watching. As always, I hope you have a great day and may the Force be with you.